Broadcasting live from the True Crime Today studios to the world. This is Murder in the Morning with Tony Bruschi and Stacey Cole.
From the Hit Killers Podcast, Murder in the Morning.
Well, look at this. A Georgia man convicted of wounding a woman in a shooting 8 years ago has now been accused of fatally shooting another woman on Saturday. Davante Parks, who's 26. So would he have been like 18 in this last time he shot somebody? Okay. Turned himself into the Richmond County jail on Sunday after authorities say he fatally shot Laquana Lang, 27, in her home in Augusta. An arrest warrant cited by local news outlets states that Lang's children aged 2 and 5 were left alone in the house for hours with their mother's body. Yeah, that'll end up well for them and their psychological development. Authorities reportedly said the children eventually had to crawl and walk through her blood to get help. Can we just, take out our service weapon and shoot Davante Parks in the head and call it good?
I'm surprised they didn't.
Just be like, look, asshole, we're not going to waste our time on you. Deputies identified Parks as the children's stepfather, according to WRDW. Facebook profiles for Parks and Lang indicated they were in a relationship. Parks was booked on charges including murder and 2 counts of first-degree child cruelty, according to jail records. It was not immediately clear if he has an attorney representing him. I'm going to guess he probably doesn't. I'm going to guess he probably doesn't have much money either. The Richmond County Coroner's Office told HuffPost that Lang was shot at least once inside the home and was pronounced dead at the scene. An autopsy has been scheduled. Court records show that Parks had been released on parole, of course, in July after pleading guilty to aggravated assault and a firearm-related charge in 2018. According to Georgia State Board of Pardons and Paroles, he became eligible for parole after serving a third, I'll say it again, a third of his 12-year sentence in 2020. Because prison is a joke here. We only incarcerate people for life that really don't need it, and then we let people like this out and wait for them to do it again, so then we can incarcerate them for life after they've destroyed some others. Q. Brooks and Dunn. Only in America. However, he was not released until July, which at point he had served 8 years. Parks previously shot and injured a then 25-year-old woman in an apartment complex in 2016, reported the Augusta Chronicle. This week, McKee told WJBF she was shocked to see Parks' name in the headlines again and that she hadn't realized he had been paroled. Quote, I haven't been to sleep since I heard he was out. And Saturday, I find out from a Facebook post that it was him that was out. McKee told WJBF, nobody told me he was out. Isn't that part of the system? Usually, don't you have to notify the former victims of people if they get out early?
And I'll tell you how I know that.
Yeah.
My husband is an attorney. He's not a criminal attorney, but he worked with somebody a while back, a friend that had something tragic happen in their family, and there's somebody in prison, and we get notifications sent to him. I've read one of them, but it's a little startling to see in the mail, but it's coming from, I'm assuming, Department of Justice.
Yeah.
And it's a notification that so-and-so is, up for a hearing.
Yeah.
And it's letting the attorney know. So it's like somebody knew about this. It doesn't just go unnoticed, like they just sneak out at 2 a.m. overnight. No, that's not how that works. There's notifications, especially if you've been affected by them.
Well, it's hard to say where that broke down without knowing the answer to that. It's not to say that they didn't put a notice out to like an attorney or somebody, or maybe her contact info changed. That sort of thing does happen. But thankfully she wasn't attacked again, but it seems like somebody dropped the ball somewhere, whether it's an attorney or whatnot, or the state. McKee said her recovery from the shooting was difficult. And this is why it's like, if you are the monster that's going to do this sort of shit at some point in your life, this is what you do to people. It was it was difficult in recovery here. And she's just reached a point where she felt comfortable leaving her home without needing to look over her shoulder.
Yep.
He didn't kill her, but But the damage that was done 8 years ago, this is how she's had to live her life. And our system says to that guy, hey, you know what? We're going to give you a second chance. This person's going to have trauma for the rest of their life from the shit that you just did and probably be fucked up. But you know what? Let's give you another chance out here, buddy. Because it's looking good. The odds are great that you're not going to reoffend. Oh, wait. The odds are not in your favor at all. In fact, they're pretty dismal that you're going to reoffend. And we don't really do anything in our system to actually rehabilitate anyone. We just kind of give you time to think about and plot how you're going to fuck up somebody else's life for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
Again, Q Brooks and Dunn. Only in America. Spokesman for the Georgia Parole Board said that the staff with local district attorney's office typically work with crime victims to get them reassigned, or registered rather, with the state to be notified about an offender's parole status. No one was registered as a victim in connection to Parks' aggravated assault. Well, there's our answer there. The state fucked it up. Shocking. And the state system, according to the spokesperson. So there you go. The state didn't cross their T or dot their I, and that's the fucking thing with half of this shit. You can't expect the people to do in nothing can you ever expect anybody to do their job right. Even with the most important things like this. It's insane. That's why you have to advocate for yourself half the time at the fucking hospital. Are you sure we should be doing this? Let me check. I don't know. Maybe we could do it this way too. Oh, why am I telling you this? I'm just a fucking, I don't do medical. Well, you made a good point. Okay, great. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'd be dead if I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I've had this horrible pain in my stomach. I don't know what's going on. Well, might be gas. Just go home. If it gets worse, I'm like, no, I can't walk. I'm going to go to the ER. Yeah, you can do that too. I was told that at the hospital. That actually saved my life when my appendix burst. But the walk-in said, nah, you're probably fine. Just go take some Tums. That would have been a nice.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, that would have been a nice little lawsuit there, but I'd have been dead. You can't rely on people in these sort of situations where you otherwise you think you should be able to. Including this situation, too. Look at how many cases we talk about where it's, well, they got that piece of paper that says you can't go near them. That's gonna hold up because that stopped them the last time.
Jeez, I don't even know what to say. I just, sometimes these cases, when they come out, you just shake your head. And, these people walk amongst us and, are we really like just a breath away, a heartbeat away from another murder?
Yes, we are.
Like it.
And
yeah.
I don't, I don't want to be like a scare person, but you know what? These people are fucking everywhere. And and if you choose to associate with them or maybe just socioeconomically where you're at, you end up being around more of them, but they're not always just like in lower areas. They go every fucking where. There's so many cases of one's doctors and all sorts of shit. It's all over the place. But I don't know like what the problem is, or if we need like better skills and decision making on who we surround ourselves with, or what it is. And I'm not in any way blaming that victim, but I think sometimes if we did have better skills in those areas, many people would not find themselves surrounded by people who have the potential to do things like this.
Gee, thanks. I'll sleep well tonight.
Sleep well tonight. Your cat's got a gun. You sent me the photo yesterday.
Yeah.
So they're looking out for their lives in case they get eaten.
Again, only in America could this be a storyline, for fuck's sake.
How the fuck that's even a real sentence? I don't know. I used to do bits about this years ago.
I know you did.
Because it was insane and it was satire. And now half of the country literally thinks people are eating pets.
And geese.
And geese.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Regulators, mount up.
You're neck deep in a dark, twisted tale. And just as the tension peaks, bam, a commercial about some miracle diet pill breaks the spell. It's like finding a fly in your soup after the first bite. But here's the fix. True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. You get to enjoy your crime stories without the junk. Ad-free episodes, extended interviews that go beyond the surface, and early access to all the gruesome details. It's like swapping out a can of cheap beer for a glass of fine whiskey. So search for True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and keep the darkness flowing uninterrupted.